Dream, 29th October 1983. X. A man is pursuing me and a girl I have found. The landscape is beautiful with hills, mountains, lakes, forests, and only gravel roads. I tie a wooden board behind our horse carriage to keep X, the man who is following us, from picking up our trail. After some time, the carriage breaks down, and I drop off the girl. I continue on my blue Gitane racing bike to divert X's attention. I cycle through a town and hide on the farther side of the town to see if X is following me. Soon after, X drives past me. I immediately cycle into town. This is the turning point, where I hide behind a fence outside a large villa. At this time, I become very ill. Then some people come out from the villa and ask me what I'm doing there. I tell them the situation as it is, and they let me in. I ask them to move my bike so they won't give me away. Then I go upstairs. The house is very big, and I try to find my place. The first room I find is a nursery. The second is a bathroom. In the third room, a married couple is arguing. In the next room, I see some hippies. Then, in an enormous living room, all the cultures of the world are present. I find a sofa and settle down. To begin with, the people there think I'm going to be there for a quarter of an hour to an hour, but I feel very ill and I want to stay longer. Then a large orchestra starts to play. It all ends with me getting a big car and meeting X, who also drives a big car. My record of the dream ends here. The dream seems incomplete, as if I was interrupted while writing it down. In hindsight, I'm in no doubt that X represents my vocation, the force that pulled me to the inner universe and compelled me to dedicate a great part of my life to self-discovery. The house I arrive at is the house of consciousness. I'm very sick. This is the initiatory illness of shamanism. I seek my place. Where is my home? I'm led through the nursery, the land of childhood, to the bathroom, purification, to the quarrelling married couple. The married couple, the holy marriage, quarrelling symbolises one of my main working gestalts. The goal of the process, the individuation process, as Jung calls it, is the alchemical wedding, the unification and transcendence of all polarised opposites, including the masculine and feminine aspects. On a superficial level, the dream refers to my relationship gestalt, which is one of my foremost working gestalts. I have grown up with parents who in many ways represent the idyllic state of a happy marriage. But in this area, I was not immediately meant to follow in my parents' footsteps. I have briefly mentioned how when I was young, I began a new relationship before ending the one I was in. This pattern has continued, and has contributed to bring turbulence to my marriages. Something in me desires ultimate freedom. However, this ultimate freedom is reached primarily through inner harmony, something which I absolutely did not have when I was young. In those days, I was only slowly realizing how much chaos I had within me. Moreover, this search for ultimate freedom can be hard to reconcile with a steady relationship. That is why the married couple in my dream were quarrelling. The psychic energies between them, within me, are filled with tension and are incredibly dynamic. Here, my Uranus-Pluto square Venus is apparent. After this, I meet the hippies, the counterweight to our materialist culture. Here, I would like to say that the best of what the hippie movement of the 1960s brought us is great, good and durable. I am a child of the 60s myself, and with Jimi Hendrix as my great source of inspiration and one of my important spiritual teachers, I pick up where the hippie movement left off. At the end of the above-mentioned dream, I discover that all cultures are present in the house. The total pool of human experience is gathered here. It's obvious that this part of the dream takes place in the transpersonal layer of the psyche. I believed that I would only have to sojourn into the problematic part of the transpersonal layer of consciousness for a short while and had, in the folly of my youth, assumed that I could easily, quickly and painlessly discover the deeper mystery of life, and then go on to follow in the footsteps of my hero, who had died far too young, Hendrix. Unfortunately, I was greatly mistaken. I was very ill, and the illness that afflicted me was, as mentioned, initiatory shamanic sickness. Initiatory shamanic sickness is when the barrier between ego consciousness and the infinite ocean of the unconscious is broken down, and the ego consciousness is flooded with so much unconscious psychic material that the reality levels intermingle. The shaman-elect has no choice. The spirits have called him, and he must bear his destiny, willing or not. X keeps pursuing me, undeterred by all the tricks I employ to lose him. He only lets go when I arrive at the House of Consciousness, or School of Life. If we pursue the idea that this dream is a prophecy of my future, the orchestra playing at the end of the dream must be a reference to my career as a musician. But the dream is also saying that in order to really get a big orchestra, I must embark on my inner journey. Astrologically, this shows itself in my other great working aspect, namely Saturn, time, squared my ascendant, persona. My shamanic vocation leads me to the world of music, but it will possibly take some time before I succeed to manifest the music in the outer world. Some fruits ripen later than others. Some trees die younger than others. At this time in my life, my unconscious has finally selected the car as a symbol of a fully integrated, dynamic ego. I met X, who also drove a car. We are now on the same plane. X's and my Dharma, great work, are synchronized.